You are looking live outside the Ottawa Rebel locker room. It is the Ottawa Rebel home debut as the National Lacrosse League comes to the Capital Region. The Rebel take on the two-time defending champion Toronto Rock, and it's coming up. Molson Export Rebel Lacrosse live on The Score. Professional lacrosse has come to Ottawa in the form of the Ottawa Rebel. Led by veteran coach Mark Vitarelli, this young squad has found itself in tough in its early games and has faced its fair share of adversity. 2 weeks ago, the Rebel invaded Toronto, home of the two-time defending champions. And much to the surprise of those of the ACC, Ottawa took it to the Rock in the opening half. At the break, they were down by only a goal. But in the second half, it was a different story as the Rock began to roll. In the end, a lopsided result, but the newcomers refused to go down without a fight, and the gloves were clearly off in this new provincial rivalry. Last week, the Rock rumbled into Washington to take on the powerful Gate brothers, and despite a surge of energy to start, it was more like a power outage for Toronto in the end. Washington tied it late, then Paul Gate scored the winner with seconds to go. Up next, it's the Rebel and Rock Part 2. Molson Export Rebel Lacrosse live on The Score. And welcome back. Great to have you with us live on The Score tonight. Brian Duff joining you for play-by-play action of this Ottawa Rebel Toronto Rock game. It is the home debut for the Ottawa Rebel. The National Lacrosse League is here in town as the crowd is filling in for what should really be an exciting game tonight. The Ottawa Rebel come to you via Syracuse, where they were known as the Smash. Last year, a disappointing season as they went 1-11, and a host of reasons led them to come here now as the Ottawa Rebel. They got off to a bit of a rocky start. They took on the Toronto Rock in their first game, as has been well documented. They're the two-time defending champs, and then they had to go to Albany, a team that really picked it up at the end of last season. So the schedule maker perhaps wasn't all that kind to this new Ottawa Rebel franchise. However, when you talk about the Rebel and their slow start, I'm sure the Toronto Rock particularly aren't feeling all that good about their start, given they've already lost one game. It was last Sunday to the Washington Power, a team that is bolstered by two of the greatest players to ever play this game in Paul and Gary Gate. And Paul, as you saw in the opener, scored the game-winning goal. Well, it is certainly going to be exciting here tonight, and the National Lacrosse League brings excitement to each and every arena. There have been some great games so far, and we expect another one tonight. Plenty of storylines. Let's try and get to some of them now. We go downstairs to The Score's Patricia Bowl with Rebel head coach Mark Vitarelli.
Thanks very much, Brian. And of course, you alluded to it, a very tough way to start the season. Mark, you had to go into the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. You had to face the two-time defending champ Toronto Rock. You had to do it with a whole lot of rookies on this team. Now they're back here. You have a chance at possibly some revenge. How do you try and turn things around against the Rock in your home building?
Well, we want our fans to help us with that tonight. We'd like them to get on our side early and put a little pressure on the Rock. We need to control the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game and get on the ground balls early, play our game in our building.
Obviously, offense has been a factor. You knew it would be going in. Outscored in the first two, 31-14. Who do you look to tonight to produce for the Ottawa Rebel?
Well, you know what? We're going to look to all 10 offensive players. We're going to run 2 lines and some defense, and we want them all involved. I mean, we look at Dell. You know, we have to look at our power play guys. Bruce Alexander, you know, Little Evie. We need guys to go to the net. Chris Ganopoulos, goal scorer Chris Bride. So we want to share that workload tonight and really be aggressive on our offense, move the ball, and attack the net.
How much of a factor is it learning the system, having guys coming into this league out of other leagues and really learning some of the rules and some of the approaches? You mentioned earlier today this is a very tough game, and sometimes it takes a little while for guys to adjust to that kind of system.
Yeah, and we understand that. We want to be patient. It's been hard. It's been difficult. You do a lot of chalk talk. You do a lot of trying to understand. It is a different league. It's a very difficult, very quick league. So we're going to grow it together. But we're game 3, and we, the coaching staff and the players, expect more out of all of us. So jitters are out after 2. Our building, we're ready to rock and roll here.
Well, the crowd is building here at the Corral Center, and it's a first-class facility. You expect this building, I'm sure, to be a major factor. It will be interesting to see exactly how things go in the home opener. Toronto comes in here hungry, though, and they're up next. Yeah, sending it back to you now, Brian.
Patricia, thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to be joined by 3-time Mann Cup champion, 1-time Minto Cup champion, great lacrosse player, Gil Neuendijk, who's going to provide his analysis during our Score Rebel lacrosse broadcast this year. And Gil, it's great to have you along this tonight. And we've talked already about the tough start that it's been for the Ottawa Rebel. Couple of games, no wins, but you get the feeling they might have caught a break tonight because the Toronto Rock are a little bit depleted.
Oh, absolutely. Kim Squire, who single-handedly defeated the Rock in the last game, scoring 4 second-half goals, total of 5 for the whole game, is not playing tonight. He was ejected from a game, the last game against Washington, for third man in. So the Rebel got a big break tonight. But the Rock will have some other scorers.
How about Dan Stroop? And how about Chris Gill? Take your pick. A couple of gentlemen right there who have been known for their offense. And yeah, Kim Squire is a great player, and we're not denying him that. But these guys, Gill, have really put up some nice numbers for Toronto.
Well, those two individuals, Kim Squire missed most of the season last year because of a broken ankle. And these two guys carried the load for the team. So they won the championship based on the results of these two individuals over the whole year.
Offense is a huge part of this game, as we've documented already, and the Rebel have to score. They'll look to guys like their captain, Del Halliday, and also Joe Finstad, who's had a nice start to the season.
Oh, absolutely. Number 33, Del Halliday, is a very important member of the offensive team for the Rebel. The Rock are very concerned with him because of his ability to get to the crease. They're going to look to him to score from in close.
What do you think of Finstad? Here's a guy who's kind of caught, I think, the Rebel a little bit by surprise with his scoring ability early on.
Oh, absolutely. Number 4, Joe Finstad, scored 2 goals in the opener against the same Rock team. They're going to be looking for him to do more of the same. 4 goals on the season so far this year, and a great shooter from the outside.
Well, it's not going to be easy for Finstad, for Halliday, and for any other member of the Ottawa Rebel, because you look at those 4 gentlemen who are on your screen, steady as a rock, a perfect way to describe the likes of Craig Gelpsick, Dan Ladouceur, Glenn Clark, and Pat Coyle.
Oh, Pat Coyle, he's one mean guy. The Rock prides themselves on their defensive ability, and if anybody gets close to that crease, they're going to punish them.
You got a pretty good veteran leader in a guy by the name of Jim Veltman as well. We're getting set for the Ottawa Rebel and the Toronto Rock, their second meeting this year. It is Molson Rebel Lacrosse, and it's live on the Score. Molson Export Rebel Lacrosse, brought to you by Molson Export. At X today,